Hey guys, I'm Krista, and this is my big sister Stacey.
And this is Sister Social Call. Oh, good morning, Sissy.
Good morning, sissy. What is up?
Oh man, do we have a story for our listeners today? We're already giggling about it. Chrissy, where are you calling in from today?
Today I am calling in from Stacey's living room in Invermere, British Columbia. What about you, sis?
From my house in my office. We have tried very unsuccessfully to record a podcast in person together. Chrissy, why don't you tell our listeners what we've been up to?
All right, you guys. So here's what happened. We were super excited to come together and be able to record an in-person podcast because we wanted to show you guys what it's like to be in a room with the two of us together. Unfortunately, we tried almost 30 little trial test runs and we could not get the audio figured out. We just kept getting this weird echo in the background. So for any of our techie friends out there that are listening, if you hear this episode, please send us all your information because we need to know this for future. So we tried all these test runs and, we'd get one that sounded good and we'd think that we were following all the exact same steps. And then boom, we would record again and we would get this echo. We spent so many hours trying to figure this out that today it is now Sunday and we decided last night to heck with it. We're just going to go into separate rooms in the house and we're going to record this podcast because we got to get up to the ski hill and get skiing today. And I don't want to be up skiing thinking we need to get back home and record this podcast. So we are in separate rooms in Stacey's house recording the podcast. So that's the reality of learning how to podcast when you're not a very audio technical person.
Yeah, it's been a challenge, but we're still laughing about it. And yesterday when we were testing this, Chrissy came up with a whole new word. She came up with the word flunder, which is a combination of flounder and blunder. And that was our entire day yesterday, peeps. Like, it was a classic failure on so many levels, but a lot of laughter to behold.
Yeah. I actually looked up what flunder meant because I was totally convinced that flunder was a word. And when I went to look it up, it's German. And at the time I was busy doing other things, so I didn't really look too far into it. So at supper time last night, we looked it up and flunder actually means flounder, like a flounder fish in German. But we have our new word flunder, and it's exactly what happened to us all day yesterday. We had a lot of flunders.
Why don't you tell everybody what we're talking about today?
Well, today we are going to be celebrating something amazing. Last week we had our brother on and we celebrated him because when the episode is being launched, it'll be his birthday. And so we celebrated Jay and celebrated his birthday. And guess what? When this episode launches, it's also going to be Stacey's birthday in a couple days. Stacey's birthday is on April 11th. So this is going to be her birthday episode. So in honor of Stacey's 44th birthday, I have some gifts for her that I'll give to her while we're recording. And then I'm going to ask her 44 questions. And after we're done celebrating Stacey, we will get talking about one of her favorite topics, menopause. We hustled through our Slow Readers Book Club book, The New Menopause by Dr. Mary Claire Haver. So we are going to discuss the book and announce our next books for the Slow Readers Book Club. And then, of course, we're going to do our peaks, pits, and plans as per usual.
It sounds like a great episode to me. All about me.
I think it's your jam for sure. So here's your gift, sis. Yeah, you can kind of open that up and then we'll get onto these 44 questions.
The first thing in my gift is a book called I Am Her Tribe by Danielle Dobie. So I'm very excited
discuss that because we'll discuss that later on because that is going to be part of our next Slow Readers Book Club books.
Chrissy gave me a pair of beautiful earrings. I'm very excited about these. They are black and gold, and it says handmade with love.
My friend Ada, she's my neighbor. She is Métis and she recently lost her mother. And she found great peace and comfort in beading while she was grieving and is still grieving. And so I offered to sell them in my hair salon. So when she put those up, I saw these are gold and black. And I was like, my sister needs these earrings. And so the first pair that sold were those ones. So she actually custom made you a pair for your birthday.
Well, I was eyeing up your earrings you were wearing yesterday, so I'm very excited to have my own pair.
Yeah, I kind of was like, we'll see what she thinks about my earrings, and I'll see if I was winning at the birthday present gift giving.
Yeah, definitely. You also included some more of your lip balm. I'm excited. I really like the other stuff. And then, of course, you painted me. It's the beautiful cherry blossom card, and it's gorgeous, and I can't wait to frame that. It's probably my favorite.
I posted that on my Blooms and Brushstrokes, and I was painting it at the farm last weekend because I knew I needed a card for you, and I refused to buy cards anymore. I'm going to paint them all. And so I was like, I got to paint my sister one up. And anyways, my friend Megan is in Taiwan right now, and she recently sent me a bunch of pictures. And in those pictures, she sent me pictures of all their cherry blossoms blooming. And so I was inspired to paint something a little bit different with those. So, and then you commented on my post, that's my favorite one so far. So
it's perfect. It's beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Shall we get to this Stacey's 44 birthday questions right now? Everybody hold on tight. Number 1, what is your middle name?
Joy.
Where were you born?
Regina.
Favorite color?
Yellow.
Favorite flower?
There's a tie between a sunflower, astromerias, and like zinnia type flowers.
Okay. Least favorite food?
I don't love pasta. Maybe like homemade pasta in Italy, I can get down behind that, but I don't love pasta in a box at home, and I would rarely, if ever, order pasta in a restaurant.
I feel ya. Favorite condiment?
Mustard.
What skill would you like to learn?
Scuba diving.
Ooh, didn't see that coming. Best piece of advice you ever received?
Some people have more capacity than others.
Surely. Favorite country you have been to?
It's a tie between Switzerland and New Zealand.
Favorite quote or saying?
Go with grace.
What's something you are looking forward to this coming year?
Continuing to explore my health, and our podcast for sure I'm definitely looking forward to this little adventure.
Me too.
I have a couple of things travel-wise that we've talked about, going on my West Kootenays trip and my adult yoga camp. I'm also very excited for those.
Cool. If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
To fly.
Ooh. Number 13, what is your favorite childhood memory?
Going to camp.
Mine too. Number 14, what's a guilty pleasure you love but rarely admit?
I'm so embarrassed to say this out loud, but I really like Paris Hilton.
I did not see that coming, but I do know that you do have a little bit of a thing for pop culture and celebrities. I'm surprised by Paris, but not surprised. Okay, if your life were a movie, what would the title be?
She falls often.
If you wrote a book about your life, what would the first sentence be?
Also, she falls often. And for those who are new into my life, I did have an Instagram account, and my handle was She Falls Often. Because I fall often. I'm klutzy.
You are indeed the klutziest person I know, for sure. What is the best birthday gift you've ever received?
I think it was when Sean and I lived in Calgary. We were poor and had nothing. And he planned a birthday excursion to Banff to go to Cave and Basin. And if you know me, you know that my love language is quality time. And so that was a great gift. Is like, we were poor, but we went on a little adventure together. So it was awesome.
Yeah, I love that.
Me too.
How do you think you've changed the most over the years?
I don't think I see things as quite as black and white as I used to anymore. I am still very opinionated and feel strongly about what's right and what's wrong, but I have seen a lot in the last decade or so that makes me be a little less black and white.
Number 19, what's something you wish younger you had known?
To chill out. Like, I'm a pretty uptight person, so I would have liked to have chilled out a lot more.
I think you've chilled out quite a bit as you've gotten older, for sure.
Yeah, I don't think I'm so type A or striving for perfection or seeking school validation. I don't take those things so seriously anymore. I don't even take work that seriously, but I want to do a really good job. But I also know that at the end of the day, the world continues to turn, whether I'm there or not.
What's a life lesson you've learned in your 40s?
Boundaries are good.
21, how do you define happiness now compared to when you were younger?
I've thought about this, and I actually don't think it's changed that much. The things that I valued when I was younger, family, nature, friends, are all the same things that bring me joy now. Like, I don't think it's actually changed that much.
Right on. What's one of your proudest achievements?
People are going to laugh at me when I say this because I have my master's, and most people would think that would be probably my best achievement. But I actually think it is bringing our little Yoshmo cat from not very well when we got her after my grandma passed away to being a thriving kitty cat. And she's almost 18 and she's had 5 solid, really good years with us. It just brings my heart so much joy to see how love of something can really just make them flourish.
Isn't that just such a beautiful thing you just said? Just how love can make something flourish, you know? If we could all just pour a little bit more love out into the world, imagine what this world would be. And I know that it's a little bit cliche, but it is the absolute truth. And you yourself have seen that even just in loving in a cat. So I mean you put love into nature, you love into people, love into it'll just put out the love and it'll change things. So that's beautiful, sis. If you had to describe yourself in 3 words, what would they be?
Loyal, kind, and caring.
Yeah. I would say those are absolutely 100% accurate. Number 24, what's one thing you love about yourself?
Well, I think that I am just a really good human and that I just try to be kind and caring to everybody that I cross paths with.
I will say that is true, Stacey, because I know we were out for a walk yesterday and we were just talking about that. And I said, you are a very genuine, loyal, honest, caring person. You totally are. And I think that is absolutely one thing that you should love about yourself because this is the absolute truth. Okay, number 25. What's one piece of advice that you would give someone turning 30?
I think it would be more of like a heads up that your 30s are a doozy. I think there's so much change that happens in your 30s. You might be starting a family. Your kids are growing up. You have career changes. You might be just getting into a career after being in university. Who knows? But I think the 30s are a doozy and it's okay to feel the feels in your 30s for sure because I think it's just a big growth decade.
Definitely. Okay, number 26. How do you handle stress in stress or difficult situation?
When I was in my 30s, it was a doozy of a decade and I had to really figure out what makes me happy and how I take care of myself when I'm very stressed and lots of things going on. And so I call it my toolkit. And so this will come as no surprise to most people that for me, it's yoga, it's going out to nature, it is meditating, it is eating good food and cooking nutritious meals, exercising a little bit. I do feel best when I am moving my body more regularly, reading a good book, having a good bedtime routine. I love curling up into my bathtub with a beer and a book. So those are some things I do when I am feeling overwhelmed or stressed.
Okay, if you could only eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
That's so easy. I'd be tacos all the time.
I love tacos too. I love Mexican in any way, shape, or form, to be honest. Okay, number 28. What is your go-to karaoke song?
Oh, I fucking hate karaoke. I'm not even going to beat that out. I hate karaoke. But I think if I had to belt out a song right now, it would probably be Like a Prayer by Madonna.
That's funny. I specifically remember you coming out to the beach and it was karaoke. This was many years ago, back when I was still drinking and not living a sober life. But you came out and made me sing Paradise by the Dashboard Lights by Meatloaf. If you guys know that song, it is super long. I don't know what she was thinking. And then and we're not good. Like we're not good singers. And
No.
and then Shoop.
Yeah.
By Salt and Pepper. Let's get on to 29. If you had a theme song that played whenever you entered a room, what would it be?
I have no idea. I've been thinking about this question. I really don't know.
Number 29. Oh, no, sorry. Number 30. What's the weirdest food combination you enjoy?
Well, I don't think this is a weird food combination, but I've been told it's weird. I like to have breakfast sandwiches with mustard. And I know lots of people have ketchup with their breakfast sandwiches, not mustard, but I don't think it's weird because it's a sandwich and I put mustard on sandwiches all the time.
Okay, well, I agree with you on that it's a sandwich. And I agree that with the person that says like they think it's a little bit bizarre. But I watched you eat a breakfast sandwich with mustard this morning and it was perfectly normal.
Maybe we'll ask our listeners if they think it's weird.
Yeah, let us know, you guys, if you think that's weird or not. Give us a comment, send us a message, let us know. Or if you're a mustard with your breakfast sandwich kind of eater. Okay, let's move on. What is the dumbest way you've injured yourself?
Oh, God. In grade 4, I broke my nose by running straight into the monkey bars. Like, not even a little bit of a duck, like straight on. So I don't know what happened that I just blanked out in life, but straight on into the monkey bars. Broke my nose.
Yeah, you sure did. And the funniest thing is that we grew up in that neighborhood from when we were little. We played in that playground. Our up until we moved away, we played in that playground probably like every day or every couple days. It was a very familiar place. So very strange, but it happened. Yeah, and you did, and you broke your nose there. I'll never forget that. Okay, next, if your pet could talk, what's the first thing they'd say about you?
I think Yo would tell us that I move too much in bed because she sleeps in between me and Sean and she's tiny. And I think she would complain that I move too much in bed. Sean thinks she would curse a lot more at us.
I think she would light a cigarette. Only because she came from her grandma, and our grandma was a frickin' cigarette smoker extreme. And I think she's got a little bit of granny in her.
Totally. I do think there is definitely some spirit of Granny in Yo for sure. She's so sassy. Granny was very sassy.
Okay, what's the worst fashion trend you ever participated in?
I don't think I can say that I've participated in a bad fashion trend because I'm a very safe dresser. I like to buy clothes that just are basic. Like a work day would be like a blazer, a white shirt, and black pants. And I can wear that no matter what decade of my life I'm in. And that's just how I dress. Jeans and a t-shirt, classic white t-shirt or a striped shirt. I don't feel like I've ever really bought into trends, and I've just been basic.
That's true. You really haven't. You buy timeless clothing that can be paired up with anything and everything, and you can accessorize to glitz it up if you need to or whatever to dress it down. So I'll say that for sure. What's the most ridiculous fact you know?
Oh, this is not my life forte at all. Sean is our trivia wizard in this household. He is chock full of useless information. I think a few years ago, you could have asked me questions about the premiers of Saskatchewan, their parties, the speakers in Saskatchewan. I probably could have listed those all off, but this information I don't use anymore. And so I do not store that information in my brain longer than I need to. So I don't know if I have a useless fact that I could list off right now.
I said yesterday when we tried to record, I said a useless fact that I know is that people's ears and noses don't ever stop growing. And then Stacey kind of was like, well, where did you get that information from? I said, well, somebody told me that, but I do remember looking it up. As people age, and then I see in my chair at the salon, women especially seem to get a little bit self-conscious about their ears. And I do think that they grow as you age, I think. So I don't know if that's totally factual, but if it is, I'll have to look it up again. But if it is, that would be the most ridiculous thing that I know too.
Why are women self-conscious of their ear size?
I don't know. It's just always so interesting that people always feel that their ears should be covered up. This is a total sore spot, I'm going to say, because women think that they should cover their ears, and they say, well, my ears are so big and that I should cover my ears. And so they spend their life having these hairstyles that they look like they have earmuffs on. So I tell people, like, cut up around the ear or soften it or take some of that weight out. It's too much. It looks like you have earmuffs on all the time. And people are so reluctant. They're just so self-conscious about the size of their ears. Let's get on to number 35. If you had to be haunted by a ghost for the rest of your life, but you could choose who it was, who would you pick?
100% Granny. I actually think she haunts me anyways, but in a good way. I feel her and Grandpa's presence around us all the time still.
So good. I love that. Number 36. Crocs or no Crocs?
I hate Crocs too, but Sean wears them, so I love him, but I hate Crocs.
I hate Crocs too. Number 37, fave genre of music.
I would have said like anything except for country a few years ago, but I even like some bluegrass music now, so I like just about everything.
Death metal?
Definitely not. Sorry, bro. Definitely not into death metal, though. So I guess you can say that that's my least favorite genre of music.
Okay, number 38. What degree/master's do you have?
My undergraduate degree is a Bachelor of Arts in Sociology with minors in Indigenous Studies and Women's Studies, and my master's is in Public Administration with a focus on public policy, and that is what I do in my professional career now.
How do you like your coffee?
Black.
Biggest fear?
Failure.
Number 41, favorite sweet treat?
5-cent candies are my go-to. Like juicy berries at Bulk Barn. Oh God, they're like my crack for sure.
I love 5-cent candies, but I love more than anything chocolate, dark chocolate. I am a chocolate fiend. I never used to be, but after I quit smoking, I changed from salty and savory to chocolate.
Interesting.
Okay. Yeah, I know. My taste buds changed. Imagine how that happens. Okay, number 42. What's the worst sound in the world to you?
I think a leaf blower would be the worst sound because they're high pitched.
Okay, any phobias?
Yes, I have a phobia of like repetitive circles, and I think it's like tryptophobia or something like that. I hate looking at pictures where there's like a pod with a bunch of circles in it or barnacles. Like, it just gives me the heebie-jeebies, and it is right now just talking about it. So let's move on.
Okay, and what's one birthday wish you have?
For myself, it's good health. Figure out my health things this year, and for like my friends and family, I wish for them also to have good health and strong relationships and connection with the people that they love.
So nice, sis. So nice. I love that little birthday questionnaire for you.
Yeah, thanks. That was fun.
Yeah, it is fun. It's always fun for people to get to know us a little bit better. And I thought, well, that was a perfect time to do that. Just it'd be about you and ask you a bunch of questions. Of course, I have to throw in my answer every once in a while because, well, that's just me.
I'll do 43 questions for you in August.
You're going to do 43 for me? Okay. I started a trend, I see, with the birthday questions, but I like it. Okay, so I think that's going to bring us to our next segment of the podcast. And I think we're going to get into discussing the book, The New Menopause, that we read for our Slow Readers Book Club last. So, Stace, why don't you start us off with this? Because this is your true love, big passion kind of project, passion in your life at this moment.
So our Slow Readers Book Club book for the last month was The New Menopause, Navigating Your Path Through Hormonal Change with Purpose, Power, and Facts by Dr. Mary Claire Haver. And if you didn't hear our episode, I'll just do a quick little rundown for you folks. This is a comprehensive guide by Dr. Mary Claire Haver. She's a board-certified OBGYN and a women's health advocate. This book was published in 2024, and it offers science-backed information and practical advice for women experiencing menopause. Dr. Haver emphasizes self-advocacy and provides tools to help women manage symptoms and take charge of their health during this pivotal life stage. The book covers a wide range of topics, including changes in appearance and sleep patterns, neurological, musculoskeletal, psychological, and sexual issues, a comprehensive A to Z toolkit of a science-backed options for coping with symptoms. So I cruised through this book because I absolutely loved it. On page 6 and 7, there were 66 symptoms listed. I went through it and I had 25 of them. And alone, when I was experiencing these symptoms, they seemed so random and not connected in any bit. But when I read this book and I saw the complete list of 66 symptoms and I saw that 25 of them I've had, oh my goodness, it finally made some sense to me. And I found that empowering would be the best way to describe it. Going like, okay, I understand what's happening in my body a little bit more. And you think that going through menopause at 37, perimenopause starting around 34, that I would have been able to educate myself. But I don't really feel like at the time, one, I had no idea what was happening to body, but this was just not a conversation that was happening. Even in the grand social media, maybe my algorithm's strong right now for this because of what I've been learning, but I don't recall seeing books 10 years ago on this subject matter like they are now. A couple other things that I found really useful was the waist to hip ratio. It was a great relief to me. I've always used BMI as my marker, and that marker always said that I'm obese. I don't feel that way in my body. However, that's what that measurement would tell me. And so that was always feeling really hard on my self-image. Anyways, I found that tool to be very helpful. I was in the low category. So I'm doing the right things for myself and for my body. So that's great. Another thing that was really interesting to me is I've talked about it, that I have high blood pressure on this podcast, that I'm getting it tested. I had a 24-hour blood pressure monitor on a couple weeks ago. I'll find out my results next week about my high blood pressure and make some strategies. But one of the things I found really interesting, and I hope to speak to my doctor about it, is taking oral estrogen. Dr. Haver prescribes a patch. And so I'm very curious to talk to my doctor about maybe changing from an oral estrogen to a patch, and hopefully maybe that will help reduce the high blood pressure. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm not promoting you to be going and getting switched yourself. This is a discussion that needs to happen between you and your physician if you're experiencing these things. I'm just going to have that discussion. So that was very helpful to me. And then the most helpful section that I thought in this book was the A to Z toolkit at the very back, where you can look up a symptom and find some of their information at the very back. So it's really handy because you can just look it up by the alphabet. In summary, I think this is a great book and required reading for all people that are assigned female at birth for in their 30s, because they're going to be they could be experiencing perimenopause symptoms in their 30s and for sure in their 40s. So it's like, help get you prepared for some of the health changes that people are going to experience. I wish I would have had this book before my diagnosis of POI.
It definitely has a lot of really great information, and I was pleasantly surprised by it. I did like the book more than I thought I was going to, and it's not that I didn't think I was going to like it. I said to Stacey, I don't want to go and read this book and then give myself symptoms that I don't have. I think that can happen to people sometimes. All of a sudden you read the symptoms or side effects of something, the next thing you know you have it, and not that I'm that type of person at all, but I just don't really want to be doing that. But it was important to my sister, and I think it's important that we read books that aren't necessarily in our comfort zone, or books that we are reluctant to read. So I hopped on board for this book, and I was very pleasantly surprised. I really enjoyed all the information she had. I thought it was a very easy read, and it's a book that you would want to keep because you can reference back to it. I assumed that when we were getting into this book that Dr. Haver was going to spend a lot of time talking solely about hormone replacement therapy, and she does, because she is debunking a lot of the old myths about hormone replacement therapy causing breast cancer. So she wants to educate people that there have been a lot of new studies done and that is not necessarily the case anymore. But she really focuses on dealing with these symptoms, number one, with physical exercise, food, your lifestyle, and then hormone replacement therapy. And I love that. I think that's such an important piece. If I'm not feeling properly, how much water have I drank? What have I been eating? Have I gone for a walk? Like those types of things. So I really loved that part of the book, that she first and foremost really emphasizes that. It's really going to equip people with some good, solid information before they even go to their doctor or naturopath or whoever they go see.
It was a really good book.
Sissy was super excited. She breezed through that book so fast. I was the one lagging behind on this one, but I'm a little competitive. So as soon as she told me she was at 93 pages, I was like, gotta get into my book. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for us on that. But we are going to introduce our next two books for the book club. And so the book that I'm bringing to book club for the next one, they're two small books. I gave my sister the book I Am Her Tribe. It's a book of poetry by Danielle Dobie. It's a book of poetry about empowerment and healing and depth and belonging and spirituality. In the women's class that I'm taking, Christine, who is our facilitator, she brings this book to class often and she'll read poetry out of it. And I found the few that we've read were so beautiful that I wanted to get the book for myself. And so I thought, well, if I'm going to get it for myself, I'm going to get it for Stacey too. And then we'll read something a little different for our book club. And so poetry it is. I didn't write a huge long descriptor for this because we'll talk a lot about this when we're doing our review. But Stacey's going to tell you guys about the second book because she also bought me a book and it's not even my birthday.
Just before we get to that second book, I've opened up I Am Her Tribe twice and I've opened it to the same poem.
Okay, tell me what it is.
It's page 60 and I'll just read it quickly because it's only 4 lines. The dark has weathered me to a place of tenderness and heart space. Twice I've opened it to that place.
Oh, that just made me feel a little butterfly from my crotch right up to my throat.
Chrissy would describe her senses like that because of her women's class and her somatic class and explaining where your energy is, being very detailed about your energy. Yeah.
You think you know where that energy is stored in you until you really pay attention to it, and then you know where it really truly is stored. And then you can start to move mountains in your life.
Okay, book 2 is The Service Berry, Abundance and Reciprocity in the Natural World by Robin Wall Kimmer. So Robin Wall Kimmer wrote Braiding Sweetgrass, and Christy and I both read this book, and it is absolutely beautiful. So this book is a bold and inspiring vision for how to orientate our lives around gratitude, reciprocity, and community based on lessons from the natural world. The author harvests service berries, which for people in Western Canada, we know service berries as Saskatoon berries. And so she harvests Saskatoon berries or service berries alongside the birds. She considers the ethic of reciprocity that lies at the heart of the gift economy. How, she asks, can we learn from Indigenous wisdom and the plant world to reimagine what we value most? Our economy is rooted in scarcity, competition, and the hoarding of resources, and we have surrendered our values to a system that actively harms what we love. Meanwhile, the service berry's relationship with the natural world is an embodiment of reciprocity, interconnectedness, and gratitude. The tree distributes its wealth, its abundance of sweet, juicy berries to meet the needs of the natural community, and this distribution ensures its own survival. So, I'm really excited to read this book because harvesting Saskatoon berries is probably the activity that I feel spiritually most connected to our ancestors and to the universe, in my opinion. Like when I'm out harvesting, it almost brings me to tears every single time. It has, like, we don't even remember the first times we pick Saskatoon berries because we would have been toddlers probably, because we had Saskatoon berry bushes at our cabin at Regina Beach. I have very special memories of harvesting berries. Is the last thing we did with our friend Nick that passed away tragically shortly after us spending the last day with him, and it was the last thing we did. Anytime I'm out picking berries, I'm just overwhelmed with emotion because it's just a very special activity for me to do. So I am so excited to read a book about the Saskatoon berry or the service berry.
I'm excited about that too. It's something that I try every year to pick some, which I do typically, but it doesn't always amount to like a whole big bunch. It is definitely at the ranch, the land out there is so abundant. Mark, he owns a lot of land, but there was this one piece of land. And I remember saying to him, if this land ever comes for sale, we need to buy this. Like there's something about this piece of land. It's got wild Saskatoons, raspberries, strawberries, wild hazelnuts, yarrow. This piece of land is medicinal, the entire piece of it. And it is so magical. And a couple of years ago, we had the opportunity to buy it. And so we did. And it has Saskatoons, not a ton of trees. I haven't found a lot, but I'm talking, you guys, this is a quarter section of land. It's 160 acres of pasture land. And so we've got lots of touring to do there. But I feel the same. Like there's something about that, picking berries, just wandering the land, some about it. So I'm very excited to read it too, Sissy. I didn't want to open it up yesterday because I want to finish the poetry book, but I think I'll be able to breeze through that here in the next week.
Those are our two books.
Yeah, so if you guys want to get on it with us, or you're inspired by what we're reading, I Am Her Tribe by Danielle Dobie, and The Service Berry by Robin Wall Kilmer. So for anybody interested in joining us, I think that's going to bring us to our peaks, pits, and plans. Okay. Well, my pit is that we weren't able to do the podcast in person and we couldn't figure that out. And just our time together is so valuable because we don't have a lot of it. We just had to make the decision to go the route of doing the recording in different rooms in the house because, well, we want to get out skiing today and we want to get to the hot springs and we want to just be able to enjoy and not that we don't enjoy podcasting. We love it. We love this part of it, but trying to figure out technical issues, not so fun. So that's not only pit, but we learned a lot and we have lots more to learn, we've realized. So that's it. The only one. Peak? Well, you know what? Today we're recording this podcast and this morning Stacey and I got up and went to a really lovely yoga class. So I was able to meet Kelsey. She's a beautiful human, a lovely yoga practice this morning. And she was so cute. She's like, oh, I finally get to meet you. You're like famous to me. And so I thought that was pretty flattering. That was really cute to hear because she's following along on the podcast. And another peak, my brother, he was on our podcast on Monday. Amazing. I'm here in Invermere with my sister and brother-in-law. So great. I'd love to be able to spend time with both of them. And then I had my hair done on Tuesday. Tamara did a great job. So that was really awesome. Honestly, it's been a really, really good week. I can't complain too much. My plans, well, we did yoga this morning. We're going to be going to the ski hill for a couple hours ski this afternoon and some hot springs. I'm going to be going home tomorrow and then I'll probably go to the farm on the weekend. It's calving season. So we've only had 3 babies drop so far, but thankfully because there was a snowstorm. So hopefully next weekend when I'm out there, I have lots of babies and I'm going to be talking all about them. That's it.
Last night, Sean got home and he could tell that something was wrong with Yo. The day before, we had Yo at the groomer, and she told Sean when he picked Yo up that she nicked Yo. Now, when I hear nick, I just think like a little cut, like just a little grazing. But last night, Sean got home and he looked closer, and it is a significant wound. And Chrissy thankfully was here and has a friend, Jess, that's the vet by Melville. And she texted Jess and said, like, it's Saturday night, like it's 9:00 at night that we're figuring this out. And texted Jess, and Jess is like, probably needs sutures, and would get some like antibiotic ointment. So Sean literally ran down to the grocery store at like 9:49 to go get Polysporin just to try and get us through the next 2 days. She is limping and it's sad. Hopefully a couple days of Polysporin will help this old girl. She's 18 and apparently she kicked when this happened. I don't know, but here we are with an injured cat that's 18 years old. So that's a pit. Peaks, Chrissy pretty much listed them all. We had a fun little photo session yesterday that we did ourselves. And this is like a really great creative outlet for us, the podcast. So that's always fun. Yeah, picking her up, driving back, having a booster juice. Like, I don't know, like it's just like hanging out with my sis. That is a peak.
I want to say another peak of mine. I should slide this in here, but my sister is a phenomenal cook. So I've been eating like a freaking queen since I've been here. We had raclette, we had a sushi bake, we had breakfast, like a little breakfast bar yesterday with yogurt and fruit and all this like stuff to put on. And this morning, it's just been like, Stacey is such an incredible host. So if you guys ever have a chance to come stay with my sister, you should.
I made a lemon meringue pie, another one, and it worked out. That was exciting.
Oh my God, I can't believe I forgot about that. Yeah, unreal.
Chrissy asked for me to make another lemon meringue pie, and I've made a second one, and it wasn't as great as the first one because I used a different crust, but it still tasted excellent. The lemon custard and the meringue turned out great, so very happy with that. And my plans for the week: to take Chrissy back to the airport and work. Then we have another guest coming next weekend, so it's the time of year where I become a chambermaid.
You thrive in this. So this is something I will say to you guys about my sister, and she will admit it herself. Stacey loves hosting. She loves to be around people. That this is where she shines. She is the hostess with the mostest. It is such a true love of hers. So anyone that truly does get to stay with her, they are treated exceptionally well. But Stacey has like a calendar of all her B&B guests that are going to be coming, but that's just all her friends and family. But she's just like, Kate, when are you coming? I got to pencil in because it can't be when so-and-so's here. That's like, it's amazing. She's a great host.
Thank you. I do really enjoy it. It's a first come, first serve. Whoever picks their dates and they're in the calendar, and I won't bump them no matter who it is that's coming. They just get those dates. So we're always so grateful that people choose to come here with their very few vacation days. And it is just such an honor that people would choose to come and hang out with us. That's how I look at it. So of course I'm going to spoil them, Ron. Vacation days are so few and far between. I just feel that I have to reciprocate that appreciation, like that love.
Well, you do good. Anyways, you guys, that is going to wrap up our 13th episode of Sister Social Call. So much fun. You know, you can find my sister Stacey on LinkedIn or Facebook. You can find myself, Krista, on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. And we want to give a little shout out to all of our listeners. Thank you so much. We have surpassed 600 downloads. We are so thankful, and we've been having so much fun. And we are loving your guys' engagement in our posts and all that good stuff on Instagram. So thank you to everyone who is listening, who's downloading, who's a part of our journey. We totally appreciate it. And just want to give a huge thank you and a shout out to all of you guys who make this so much fun to continue to do.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Love you, sis.
Love you too, sis.